Hello and welcome. Today we are watching The Godfather Part 2, mate. Now, if you didn't see my first time watching the first Godfather, that is on my channel. Go check that out straight after this or before this. That is the chronological order, mate. Let's not be too chaotic now, shall we? Not sponsored, just thirsty. I'm excited for this one. If you didn't watch that video, no spoilers. We're in the second one, Tyler. Of course they're going to be spoiled, mate. What do you mean? No spoilers, but I liked the first one. That's a spoiler, I guess. Sure, why not? Why not? So I'm very much looking forward to this. Imagine my surprise, by the way, when I had a little bit of a looky look, and I noticed that this one was 3 hours 20 long. 3 hours long. Which, by the way, actually, I'm not against. Why are you wearing a shirt, Tyler? Why are you wearing a shirt, mate? First of all, because I need to turn up for Michael. That's what I'm saying, mate. Wait. Don't know what happened there, I'll be honest with you. I didn't just get out of an audition and could not be bothered to change. I also might have recorded a weekly episode of my show, Breaking Bad Fridays. If you're not aware of it, I do a show every single Friday, mate. Breaking Bad, one more episode until we are finished with it. And I may have just recorded an episode of that, and now I'm going straight into this because I am an anarchist and that's what I do to myself, apparently. Without further ado, thank you very much for joining me, and let's get going. Mikey boy, what you got for us? Yeah, honestly, they could have ended the last film as a standalone film. I didn't realise, I'll be honest with you, that it was a novel. Okay, say what you want about me, that's absolutely fine. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Honestly, they could have ended the first film, and I would have been happy. There was a start, middle, finish. Beautiful. Part 2, mate. Part 2. Anyway. But yeah, they honestly could have ended that film and it would have been a perfectly brilliant film on its own. So we'll see where this goes. I have no idea what we're going to do. Oh. Town of Corleone, okay. His older brother, Paolo, swore revenge and disappeared. Right, so I guess maybe that's the focus, right? Right, so instant chaos. Oh shit. Oh, so Paolo's out, mate. Unless this was a cover-up. Do you know what I mean? Okay, no, that's pretty final. That is pretty final. There's lots of blood there, mate. Unless it was a plan. You know what I mean? Where'd they get the corpse from? Do you know, that's all I'm saying. Oh, she's going to identify him. Damn it. Never mind. Forget it. No speculation needed. Cut and dry. Well, not dry. Lots of blood. Yeah.
Avevi solo 9 anni.
Well played, lady.
Ma un figlio mio è sicco.
Nicely played, mate. She is protecting him.
No.
Oh my goodness. This lady got stones, mate.
Vito!
Mate, don't take your eye off. What? Jesus. Was there... Well, okay, she had a knife to his neck. There was a bit of need, I'll be honest with you. Fair play. But, Jesus. Yeah, damn. Vito was really forged through fire. Just shipped off to America. That's either going to break you or make you. And even then, even if you make it, there's absolutely nothing to say that you become Vito Corleone that we saw in the first film. That takes some gumption, that takes some steel. Tells you a lot about Vito.
What is your name?
Bandolini from Corleone.
Corleone. Vito Corleone.
Fair enough. That is literally the scene from Han Solo, but in Solo it's done horribly. Yeah, no, it's interesting that they took this as a route. And it's just interesting from my perspective, right? Because, yeah, so I was told that it was a novel. I honestly didn't know that. I could understand why a book would delve back, or like a second book or whatever it was, would delve back into the life of Vito and go back and tell that story, because that's a very book thing to do. I mean, I say that, it happens in a lot of series, shows, films. Again, like I say, I have a bias against that kind of stuff. I don't like when they do that because it's so hard to get right. I'm not saying that shows and media doesn't get it right, but I feel like in visual media like films and TV, they it's very hard to do that right and well and give you and give you a sense of I realize why they did that, and that gave me a lot of meat and character development and character's arc and enhanced what was already there and gave me a reason to go okay, that's fine. I get why they did that, as opposed to being what is this? This is superfluous. The guy's dead, or whoever it is dead. That story's finished. I don't want to find out more about them. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of where I come at it a little bit from. And that's just bias. That's subjective. That's my opinion. If you differ, you're not wrong. It's just what we all kind of are into. My greater point is that me watching the films, coming to the films brand new, not having read the books, I'm it seems like an odd choice to go back in time and then tell Vito's story. And to me, it's not necessarily the most logical choice as a creative endeavor. I'm sure it absolutely is. I'm sure it pays off. Everything that I've seen tells me that they pay it off. It makes me curious because I'm it doesn't seem like the most logical choice from a film perspective. It would make sense as a book, and I get that it was adapted from a book and that's why they've done it. But what can you give me that's going to make me think that it's worth it to do it in this story, in this film? I'll see, and I'm going to keep an eye out for that, and I'm going to judge that accordingly. And I'm going to tell you why. If I don't like it, I do like it, I'll tell you why. And that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's like, it's my job here on YouTube. That's what I do. I commentate, and I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of like prepping you and setting the foundation for where I'm at and where I'm starting from, and we'll go from there. Fucking hell, again, I swear they can't do a film without doing like a little jump scare of sound. That's rude, mate. It's rude. Tell you what, this guy's getting his penis right up in her fucking cracks. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the shit? Oh, you're looking good, Mike. You're looking good. What shenanigans you getting up to this film, mate? Yeah, honestly, the impression that I got last film was that, like, the film almost just unraveled before you, and you just sat there just waiting for it to happen. That was almost like a part of the feeling that I got, and so I'm kind of like sat here being like, 3 hours, mate. I'm ready. Like, just unravel before me. Let me just sit and enjoy it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like a slow drink.
I was under the impression that you and I would talk alone.
Don't cross Michael, mate.
I am a blunt man, and I intend to speak very frankly to you.
Well, good luck with that, mate.
Now, my sources tell me.
Look at Michael just waiting.
Let's cut out the bullshit. I don't want to spend any more time here than I have.
Oh, disrespect.
Corleone.
Oh, little bit of an insulting little bitch, this guy. He fucking hell.
I don't like your kind of people.
Oh, Michael. Michael.
Yourself and your whole fucking family.
Michael.
People have to play little games. You play yours.
How's this guy gonna die? I feel like the film very specifically started with a shot of Michael and him getting kissed as the Don. I feel like it's supposed to like re-establish in your mind where Michael is, who Michael is. He's the man in charge. He's got power. I feel like the film is going to re-establish that further and be like, right, this guy's fucking coming against Michael straight away. So let's see what happens. It reminds you as the audience and sets you in the place of like, right, Michael is this character that's big, that's powerful. He can't be messed with. He won't be messed with. Which also makes me like begs the question, and I'll leave this here, because they did the first film so well and they knew what they were doing. It makes me beg the question of like, are they going to shake that up a little bit later in the film? We'll see.
You can have my answer now if you like.
Yeah, I will. Give me it.
My offer is this. Nothing. Not even the fee for the gaming license.
Tell him. Look at those eyes, mate. It's all fucking business. It's all fucking power.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
This guy doesn't believe it, but he will. Yeah, still a cool, calm Michael. I like how they're mirroring the first film and the big wedding that they had, and this is like a big party setting with the backroom meetings with the the Don. I love that they've mirrored those beginning scenes, and then we've got those power plays in the back room, this dark room where the Don is like doing business. I'll be honest, mate, I didn't catch that last bit, but I loved how you said it.
Johnny?
Look at him.
What are you drinking, Johnny?
Being all courteous. This is a Michael comfortable with his position.
Hyman Roth is the only one left because he always made money for his partners.
Mr. Roth. I feel like I'm gonna have to remember that name. Bum ba bum ba bum bum. Oh, that's the lady who was like belching it out, mate, last film. She gotta get up singing, man. That was some good shit. Hey, we've all been there.
Michael says that if you can't take care of this, I have to.
Oh.
You're my brother, Fredo. You don't have to apologize to me.
Again, so that little moment there, it's almost a very innocent moment. I feel a very small moment, a moment I feel like you can look over. But again, I think the film is very purposefully showing you Michael's power, showing you that he's established, showing you he's in charge. What we're seeing, I think, at the beginning of this film, the film is trying very hard to kind of establish him and show you that he's very comfortable, he's very powerful, he's very much this person that gets things done. And I think that little moment there was another thing that was just stacking on that pile, being like, no, Michael's the Don, don't question it, and that's that, mate, and that is that.
Tua famiglia. Ancora porta il nome di Corleone.
And interesting again, it shows us that he's come along because he knows Italian now.
Mike, they spit right in my face. All because they're backed up by that Jew in Miami.
I know. That's why I don't want him touched.
So is he trying to curry favor with Mr. Roth then, Michael?
I have business that's important with Hyman Roth. I don't want it disturbed.
Yeah, right.
Your father respected Hyman Roth, but your father never trusted Hyman Roth.
What's to say that Michael does, mate?
There's not going to be no trouble for me.
Then fuck off. That little bit there where Michael's speaking Italian, again, it's another block on that foundation of, right, like Michael's come a long way. Alongside that, the film is also going to pains to show us the antagonists, the problems that he's coming up against. We had that guy at the beginning testing Michael. Now we've got this guy being like, look, I wanna move against this guy Roth, give me permission. And Michael's like, no, come on, I've got plans, like I'm doing business with him, trust me, I know better than you. And this guy's being like, trust this Jew over your own family. And it's constantly just people coming at Michael assuming he doesn't know what he's doing. And I think what we saw in the first film was that he knows what he's doing. He's clever, he's calculated, he's got a plan. And these guys are coming up against him because they can't see that, or they're not willing to get on board with it. So we'll see how that pans out. We'll see.
What you once told me. In 5 years, the Corleone family will be completely legitimate. That was 7 years ago.
Shit. Oh! Shit! Fucking hell, man. I tell you what, they're fucking having a pop at the... What, Tyler? Do you want to try words, mate? Fucking hell. Damn, man. I assume it was the first guy. The first American fella that came in. I tell you what, I had the sound right up. That blew my fucking ears off. Yeah, and then the film goes like, right, he's powerful, he's sure, he's come a long way, but he's still not immune to attack. Which keeps it interesting, and it keeps those two opposing ideas together, and it makes you as the audience a little unsure, which is perfect. You know, you always want to be keeping the audience on that line of like, okay, he's powerful, he's untouchable, but oh shit, okay, maybe not so much. And do you know what I mean? That line, you want to keep them right there, keep them guessing, keep them on the edge of their seat.
That's why at this moment you're the only one I can completely trust. You're my brother. Always wanted to be thought of as a brother by you.
Oh.
You're gonna take over. You're gonna be the Don.
What? Okay.
I'm gonna leave here tonight.
Okay. Where are you going, mate?
I'm trusting you with the lives of my wife.
That's so interesting.
Unless I'm very wrong, they're dead already.
So he knows something.
Killed by somebody close to us. Inside.
So what I was saying about how they were establishing Michael as they were, in the way that they were, was this Don, this powerful, he's come a long way, all this stuff. And then I was like, right, if they keep to the track that they were doing in the first film, they are going to shake that up. And they have immediately. Not only that, Michael's literally giving the power, the Don ship, to Mr. Lawyerman. Sorry, I don't know his name. So immediately, they do all that work to set him up in this position that we see him in right at the end of the last film. And it's like, right, no, he is this. And then they're like, right, and then this happens. And then now he's not this anymore. And now we're going a completely different direction. And then we learn that he knows something about this, or he suspects something about this, that we don't know as the audience, that no one knows, which is so interesting. How is it going to surprise me later on? How is it going to reveal something to me later on that he suspected? And bearing in mind, the film is keeping those cards close to their chest as well, so it could be anything. Do you know what I mean? And it could go either way. He could be wrong. Michael could be wrong, which throws another spanner. So we'll see. But it's interesting that they did that immediately. And they show that they're carrying on in the same vein as the first film, in this second film, by setting something up and being like, right, and now we're going to shake it, we're going to rock it, and we're going this way. And now you don't know where it's going to go. And I don't know where it's going to go. I have no idea. I wonder if it's him. That's where my paranoid fucking mind goes. Maybe it's the person that Michael trusted the most, but maybe Michael knew something. And he's saying that he trusts this guy here. And maybe he doesn't. And maybe he's playing this guy. Ooh, that'd be spicy, mate. That'd be spicy as fuck. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, why are we going back and telling Vito's story here? But hey, I want to see De Niro, man. I want to see what he's got. But to my shame, I have not seen a lot of, like, De Niro's older stuff. So I guess we're almost getting both Vito and Michael at similar ages, right? That's an interesting dynamic to see them both contrasted together. Damn, De Niro's hot, man. Sorry, I've only seen him as an old guy. I'm not saying he was like an ugly old guy. I'm just, yeah, like, you know what I mean? But he's got a fucking jaw, man.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. Good answer. Fucking on it, innit? Fucking on it. He had that answer prepared. Fair play to you, mate. Yeah, he sounds great. You know, just comparing him to Brando and his voice and what he did with that role, he sounds really, really good. Oh, fuck.
Vito, come here. Come on.
Yeah, Vito has got this very interesting way about him that's very Michael-esque. Which I get, I guess that's where Michael got it from, right? He's very cool, he's very calm, very steady in a situation where you probably shouldn't be. No questions asked, mate.
Hey, Giù, va cangiando.
Is Vito seeing an opportunity? You know, I guess he's looking to usurp Finucci, right? Ah. Bless him. Yeah, something about Vito is so respectable. He's so nice. Genuine, he's a nice guy. Like, if you abide by those rules and you're good to him, he's absolutely a good guy, you know, and it's what makes him as a character so compelling. Because whatever he does, whatever bad things, illegal things he does, you can tell that underneath it all he has this rule set, this code within himself, this propriety, this politeness, this code that he will do right by you if you do right by him, which, you know, there's a lot to be respected there, honestly, especially as you're watching as the audience. It makes you, it's fodder for the audience to be like, I love this guy's awesome. Sus as fuck, but go along with it, mate. That's it. That's all there is to do. Yeah, and I guess the film is so long because it's accommodating two stories. It's accommodating Michael and Vito, which, hey, I'm here for, man. I approve of that decision. Nowadays, if a film is 3 hours long, people are like, 3 hours long? I think nowadays we are seeing more of an increase in film length, right? And I think that's a good thing, honestly. I think, you know, there's a conversation to be had about that. I won't have that here. Back then, they were just like, no. The story you want to tell is 3 hours. We're going to tell it. It's 3 hours. That's it. I love that. As long as we're using that time to tell a good story, go for it. Is Vito just stood there right in the middle of the room? Yep. Yeah, look at him. If anything, this should be out of Vito's ballpark. He seems to be living a normal life. He had a normal job, all this stuff. But again, he's very naturally calm, cool, unaffected. All the hallmarks that get him to where he's going to go. This guy. Oh, is this the guy that Michael suspects? So is Roth, do you think? Because he was working with Roth? Do you think Roth is the ultimate orchestrator of everything that's happening? Trying to take Michael down, perhaps?
Mr. Roth?
Oh, Mr. Roth, hello.
Good health, the most important thing. More than success, more than money.
I think maybe Michael suspects him, but I don't know, maybe he's just a businessman.
Frank Pantangeli came to my home. When I refused, he tried to have me killed. I'll visit him soon.
So that was the guy that came to visit him then?
Yours and mine.
Nothing is more important.
What are these guys' plans?
You're a great man, Mr. Roth.
Okay, yeah, so Mr. Roth is just a legitimate businessman. Very civilized, very kind of almost Vito. At least it seems like that, we'll see.
And Pantangeli is a dead man. You don't object?
Oh, is it this guy?
C'è qualcosa con Ma?
Yeah, he knows what's up.
I wish you would have let me know you were coming.
I didn't want you to know I was coming.
Straight up. Yeah, my man, you gotta know you're dead.
In my home! In my bedroom where my wife sleeps!
So interesting how he delivers anger. Sorry, just a little note, acting-wise. It's very loud, very commanding, very powerful, but like visibly, physically, his face and his body language, it doesn't change, it just stays steady. I think it kind of gives it a little bit more oomph.
It was Hyman Roth that tried to have me killed.
Okay.
I know what was him.
Interesting. Only because in the last film, Vito had that meeting. When he'd recovered and had that meeting, obviously we as the audience were watching, and then he was in the car on the way home. And he said to Lawyer Man, he was like, yeah, now I know who was to blame, who was attacking us. And he worked that out just from that meeting. And that wasn't obvious to the audience, but like we found out afterwards, Vito was like, yeah, now I know who it is. And Michael just displayed the exact same thing. And again, it fooled, like, I mean, maybe it didn't fool you guys, but like, I didn't know. There was me thinking like, okay, Roth's a good guy, okay, fine. But I think that's the genius of it, and it also shows how much Michael is Vito's son. He has that same ability to sit down with someone and be like, you're coming for me, aren't you? And I can tell, and I can read you. And that shows me that Michael is one step ahead of these people. But interesting how the film plays with you as the audience. I thought it was this guy and Roth was okay, and then suddenly it's like it flips it, and it's like, right. And then we've got like Roth, who has been established as this big, powerful person. And it's like, shit. The biggest fish is coming after you, at least from what I can tell. Everything just there is just intriguing and surprises you as the audience. And the film keeps surprising you. It keeps going in different directions. It's like, okay, we're going to get going this way. Oh, psych, we're going this way, mate. Fucking get on board.
Everything will be all right, Fredo. He's willing to make the deal.
Right.
I don't want you to call me anymore.
Your brother's not gonna
Interesting. So are we just straight up seeing that this guy's the traitor? I mean, it was an easy call, but I felt like it was almost too easy. He was constantly the weakling, the almost visibly, at least in public, the weaker brother. He was an easy choice for the betrayer. So we'll see if that pans out. I don't know. This is the thing. The film puts you in this place.
You're not gonna regret it.
Well, you're almost paranoid. You think he's going to try and trick you, so I'm not sure.
Michael Corleone says
Oh, wait. Am I an idiot? Am I being played with, mate?
The cop, what the...
Hey, I just come in to clean up.
Was that actually Michael, or was that Roth acting on Michael's behalf? Oh, he survived. My man, you gotta make it out of that. So I am actually not sure at all. I feel like the film is absolutely playing with me. Maybe I'm being an idiot and I've just missed something. That is absolutely possible. But it's putting me in a position where I don't know what the fuck is happening and who's to blame, who's the betrayer, who's doing... Do you know what I mean? That's an interesting position to be in. Am I as clueless as I should be? Because what makes me hesitate is that Michael wouldn't go to that guy who we just saw almost get choked out. Michael wouldn't go to him and say the things that he did. He would just get rid of him. He would just kill him and be like, this is, you betrayed me. Like, I'm going to deal with you right now. Like, Michael will be straight up. Which makes me think that Roth is the one doing this and he's the betrayer. He's the one attacking. We'll see. Did she just blink? Lady, come on.
Just a game.
A game? A game in which I bludgeoned her to death with my penis? Like, what do you mean a game? What'd you do, mate? How big's your penis?
Nobody knows that she worked here. It'd be as though she never existed.
Alright.
All that's left is our friendship.
Well, it's all sunshine and rainbows then, isn't it, mate? Fucking hell.
Solid gold telephone.
That is gaudy, mate. That's gaudy. I've just realised, sorry, the whole Michael saying to Roth that he was going to take care of it and kill the guy, that did make a problem arise in my own mind. I was like, how now, after saying that, is Michael going to get past that or like get that past Roth? Because he's decreed that he needs to die, and he said that to Roth, but then he went to the guy that he was supposed to kill, right? And was like, yeah, so Roth's in on it. Roth's the one that's against me, all this stuff. But surely then Roth would get suspicious if Michael didn't actually do what he said he was going to do. So I guess perhaps that was instigated by Michael. And at the end of the day, the guy survived. So perhaps that whole thing, that whole hit, the garrote and everything was orchestrated by Michael to make it look like he was following through, but not actually following through to the point that he killed the guy, because obviously he doesn't want to actually kill the guy, perhaps. But again, I'm not sure.
I wouldn't want it to get around that you held...
Oh, hello. Nipple for your thoughts?
What I wouldn't give for...
Yeah, he's playing this up.
20 more years.
This whole not having long makes me suspicious.
Mikey, how are you, okay?
Yeah, because we've got the intrigue with this guy as well. So the film I feel like the film is absolutely playing with us. I feel like the film is absolutely playing with the audience as to who the one in the Corleone family is that's betraying him.
Why didn't we spend time like this before?
What did you do?
How do you say banana daiquiri?
Banana daiquiri.
That's it. That's it.
Uno banana daiquiri. Before I reach my hotel, I'll be assassinated.
Oh. I feel like Michael is just playing with us. I don't know if he's being truthful. I don't know if he's trying to flush this guy out. I don't know. This is so clever, what they're doing with this film. And again, maybe I am just being a complete idiot, and because I'm an idiot, I'm being taken in by all of it, or not understanding something, but...
It was Roth who tried to kill me in my home. He thinks he's gonna live forever. He wants me out.
Yeah, maybe.
I've already made my move.
What move?
I feel like Michael's feeding him.
I'm in Roth. I'll never see the new you.
Yeah, I feel like Michael's feeding him, and he's going to give something away to someone, and it's going to feed into Michael's plans. Maybe. I feel like Michael's playing a shrewd game here. I do feel like Roth is what Michael's saying. Absolutely, absolutely. I think what confused me was when they tried to garrote the guy. And it's a testament to the film, because I feel like the film is absolutely trying to do this to the audience. I feel like the film is trying to make the audience guess, second guess. I feel like it's almost trying to make the audience confused and trying to guess who's at play. But I think that's the point, because I think Michael's trying to work it out as well. It's taking you on this journey alongside Michael to try and figure out, and it's getting you in on the game and being like, who is it inside the Corleone family that is working with Roth? Because I think that's the question. I think that's what's happening here. Now he's with his brother here, and I feel like we saw that phone call with the brother as well. And I think that was again the filmmaker, the writers feeding us as the audience this thing of like, okay, he's the traitor, but now Michael's like being all pally with him and being like, you know, like there's a traitor in the family. But then I feel like it's a double blow of him, Michael, trying to be like, he knows that he's his brother is the traitor, and he's trying to feed him information and flush him out and prove that he's the traitor once and for all. Maybe it's a test, you know what I mean? So there's all these strings being held up, I feel. Maybe it's really simple, maybe I'm just missing it or overthinking it or whatever, but I feel like they're absolutely doing this in a way that is holding up all these little threads, and he's making you guess, making you unsure. It's making it a really compelling film for it.
Who had Frank Pantangeli killed?
The Rosado brothers.
Ah, here we go.
But who gave the go-ahead? I know I didn't.
Right, so it wasn't Michael. Okay, sorry, answers, here we go. Right, so I think that was specifically a confirmation there, that was supposed to confuse the audience.
Brother Fredo, do you, Johnny?
We never met.
Oh, is this guy on the phone? He's watching that. He saw that. Michael saw that, mate. Yeah, I think that was the guy on the phone, DeFredo, yeah. Yeah, I do feel like this whole film is just Michael and Roth maneuvering around each other. One misstep is fatal, I feel. Shit. Oh, wow. My God. Is the film really going to do this? As soon as I say the focus of the film is Michael versus Roth, and then as soon as I say that and the film has me hooked and in that, it's like, nah, Roth is gone. Now what, bitch? Guess. Oh, it's not Roth. They fooled me. Who did you just kill, mate? Did he think it was because he looked like Roth, mate? Man, this film plays with you. It's absolutely just playing a game with the audience, and I love it. Unless that guy didn't make a mistake and he was just trying to kill Roth's bodyguards to get to Roth, and then he opened the door and there was people in there, so he was like, okay, not the time. There he is. Man, you know someone's up to mischief when they've got a fucking hat like that on. You know what I mean? All black bowler hat, fucking ready for a murder. Oh, mate, do it quick. He's gonna get caught, isn't he? Damn. Not a quick murderer, admittedly. Damn, so that was Michael. Michael lost that then.
I know it was you, Fredo.
Oh.
You broke my heart.
Shit.
You broke my heart.
Yeah, so it was him then. Yeah, right. Confirmed. Need to get out of there, Mike. You are fast losing friends, mate. Yeah, quick exit, mate. Bit quicker. Come on. I feel like Michael's been caught out here, you know. He has misstepped. I did think a minute ago, I was like, it would be interesting if the film showed us Michael in a really compromised position.
Roth is dead. Fredo!
Ooh.
You're still my brother! Fredo!
Michael, leave.
Please, I must leave!
Right, I feel like this was set up by Michael. Cover his exit, right? The way it's like inciting nervousness in me as well. Just with the music along. Oh, okay. Never mind, I'm fine now. I'm fine. Thought they were going to draw that out a little bit more, if I'm honest with you.
Roth got out in a private boat. He's in the hospital in Miami. Had a stroke and recovered okay.
Damn. So he had a stroke, which was why he was moved and had all those people around him. Fuck, man. Fuck. That is bad luck. It's interesting that we have it framed that way, right? It was a stroke, it was just bad luck. I was saying, oh, Michael misstepped, right? But it just turns out that was bad luck. He would have been alone. So it's interesting how they did that. He failed, but it's not because he miscalculated. His reputation with the audience, with me watching, is intact, and it makes it spicy. It makes it more intriguing from my perspective, because now obviously Roth is going to know that he attempted it.
Kay had a miscarriage. She lost a baby.
Shit.
Was it a boy?
That's your concern.
Was it a boy?
We're seeing the cracks under his facade. He's under a lot of stress, mate. Yeah, I don't know whether it's because De Niro's playing Vito so well, like this depiction, or the way that they're juxtaposing his rise with Michael's, I wouldn't say rise necessarily, but his tenure as the Don, right? Michael's tenure. I like how they're juxtaposing it, but I also just like De Niro's depiction. I like his performance. I think he's fucking smashing it. He's selling the performance, but also Vito's been written really well, and it's compelling to watch. And we are at a point, and I think this is important. Sorry, pause. I think this is important. We're at a point now as well where it makes the story and the story with Vito and De Niro more interesting and more intriguing at this point in the film because of where each character is, where Vito is, where Michael is. Vito isn't even taking power yet. He's very much approaching that. It's his rise, whereas Michael is in the flourishing era of his tenure as Don. They're at different levels. And I think that's what is so intriguing. Because I'm always like, I don't want to go back. I know where this character ends up. I know this character. I don't want to go back and see. Do you know what I mean? But I think they've garnered a little bit of interest in the way that they've structured that flashback and in the different positions that both Vito and Michael are in. So because Vito is in that period where he still has to take power and establish himself as the Vito we know, there's still a lot of bridges to cross until we get to that Vito, right? We're very well established in Michael's story and what's happening there. They've done that really, really well. We know exactly where we are. It's just a steady ticking story that we're just happy to be in and find out what happens as it unravels. With Vito, that story hasn't necessarily even been established yet. He still has that power to take. And so it makes it interesting flashing back at that point, because it's like, okay, well, I haven't seen that yet, and it makes me want to see it. My anticipation for that is still rife and ripe, even almost 2 hours into the film, almost a third of the way through the film, because of the way that they've structured it. So it's like a flashback. Then I wasn't like, oh god, come on, no, I want to get back to Michael and find out how that goes. It was a case of like, they've established De Niro and his depiction, and they've made it compelling, at least to me. And so they set that up, and then they went back to Michael, and they've unraveled that story for what feels like a long time now. And then when they went back, it wasn't a case of like, oh god, no, get me back to Michael. It was like, no, I'm happy. I've seen a lot of that Michael story. It's going at a nice steady pace. They're not rushing it. They're going nice and slow. I'm into it. Coupled with that, Michael's getting frustrated. He's cracking a little bit. You as the audience are like, oh god, okay, he's not as in control as he's making out. You know, things are going a little bit wrong. And it's almost a reprieve when you go back as well to Vito's backstory. As I was saying, you also go back and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. The thing that I was compelled about, the thing that I was anticipatory about. So sorry, I'm talking this out a lot, but I think they've done a lot to make that transition and the flashback work, and to make that flashback interesting and intriguing. And that's what I'm talking about when I say that I'm biased against that kind of stuff, is because so often people, writers, films, TV, they don't put in the work to make it interesting. You know, so sometimes, like, you know, we have a character that we know that might even be dead, and we do a flashback to their younger self, and it's like, why am I being shown this? You need to give me a good reason. You need to make me interested. You need to make me compelled. A lot of time people don't do that. They just think the thing alone will make it compelling. The story that of a character that we knew and loved, going back and seeing more of that character would be compelling on its own. It's not. You've got to do more than that. And so I'm pointing it out because they're doing a lot to make it compelling, even just in the structure and the linear nature of where those two stories are at this point in the film. I think that's really clever.
Capisci, paesano?
Oh, capisci.
Look at him, he's so cool.
E per chi la mo pagare?
But there it is.
Ah sì, ma io è solo, now ci siamo tre. E io è...
He ain't wrong.
Quante scuse l'uno per pagare a Fanucci? E vi garantisco che io si big so che ci rugno io. Ha ragione io.
I'm looking forward to that, mate.
Voi avete intenzione di pagare tutto quello che va domani.
I like that he's just showing these guys safety as well. He's like, just pay whatever he asks for. You know, he's accommodating for failing. He's accommodating his friends. And that shows you a lot about his character.
I'm making an offer, you don't refuse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, it's put me in a position where I am begging and waiting to see this scene and see how he does this. It's not lost on me that I was like looking forward to this so much, and all he did was be like, hey, I'm just short of money, man. Chill out. But he delivered it in such a way that he didn't back down. He was a steel wall before Fanucci. Ooh, interesting with the oranges. Very Don Vito. I think Fanucci is all talk, is all bluster. I think he's got very little inner strength. I feel like his strength comes from those around him and his muscle as opposed to him. But I feel like all it took there was Don to essentially come in, sit down, smile at him, show that he wasn't going to back down, that he had steel in him. And this guy didn't want to come up against that. He saw strength and he kind of backed down. Is this how Fanucci's going to die, I wonder? Considering we're seeing the hallmarks of when Vito got killed. Not got killed, but got hit. Yup. Look at that. Too violent for him. Yeah, I'm getting the impression that he doesn't do a lot of his own dirty work. Oh, is that a makeshift silencer, mate? Yeah, he's just gonna straight up shoot him. I feel like he's gonna shoot him. Yep. Easy as that. Oh shit, he is making sure. Oh, Michael. Oh, okay. Interesting. They just worked that in there. Cool. I just didn't expect that at all. But they're literally just working intermission into the film. Hey, long film, fair play to them. But that's interesting, because if they put that in there, they've clearly meant that to be like a breaker, so as not to interrupt the flow and structure of the film. Hey, yeah, I wonder if we're going to see like why Vito had this attachment to Michael, perhaps. But I wonder whether it was because Michael was just born on the cusp of his first step to replacing Fanucci and stepping into the life that he would have, perhaps. Maybe he associates that with Michael. Yeah, and I do also feel like, you know, it was getting a little bit frustrating. It was getting a little bit heavy in Michael's story last time we were here. And Vito's storyline there helps as a little bit of a palate cleanser. And now it's like I'm ready to go back into Michael's story. Clear-minded, that weight has been lifted a little bit. Oh, he wants to dig into Vito more. Because he's struggling. Bless. Humanizes him. We're getting these switches. The moustache, get it on him, man. Don't you stroke it like we didn't know. We noticed, mate. Oh, he's choosing oranges. Fuck.
If there's something I do for you, you come, we talk.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, they've executed this really, really well. Fair play. I said I keep an eye on it. And honestly, like, I am so invested. And just the way that I see Vito interacting with that guy, I'm like, oh, it's Vito. It's Vito. You know, it's that propriety, it's that politeness.
Si lungoiarono con padroni di casa di da buca. Picciridde ci piace.
Good on him, mate. Fuck landlords. That's all I'm saying.
Io ci posso dare antichi di soldi per aiutare a cangiare in casa.
It's interesting that Vito's first response is to shy away from the aggression side of it and just be like, you know, look, we can settle this peacefully. I'll just give you some money to move. Don't worry about it. It takes her to be like, no, I want to stay there. For him to be like, all right, what's his name? There's a lot in his character to be liked, and we've seen a lot of that in these flashbacks, which makes me enjoy these flashbacks so much.
Mi chiamo Vito Corleone.
But it's almost it's almost more compelling than Michael's story in a way. They're on a level. They're both interesting. They're both compelling, right, in their own ways. But it's more compelling in a way because it's like, okay, Michael very much didn't have it handed to him. Michael earned his place. He absolutely did. But to a certain extent, Michael did have that title handed over to him. But Vito got there first. He established that power base. This all exists because Vito made it happen. So it's different. It's different. This is different. And that's what makes this interesting as well, is because it's different even to Michael in the last film and what he went through. He was on his own rise, but he was claiming what was supposed to be his. But he very much, you know, reclaimed that power. And I think it's a different thing when Vito's establishing that. This is new. This isn't something, even though we're flashing back, isn't something the audience watching these Godfather films so far has seen. And that's interesting. And to see him like forge these relationships and establish that, it's just so compelling. In a way that Michael's rise was compelling, but it was compelling in a different way. That's my point ultimately, is that we're being shown a compelling story in a different way, even though it's familiar. I think there's something special about how De Niro is depicting him as well, because it's the same. You can see Marlon Brando's Vito in there, but it's very much a different Vito, and I think that's giving it more life than it would have ordinarily had. So all of that combined together, everything that I've just talked about combined together, puts you in this place where this is just so interesting to watch. Look at him, he's appealing to this guy's better nature first. Yeah, look at him, he's just a problem solver. Now he's looking. Dude, look at the money in your hand, mate. Wow, he's really building his power based on favours and goodwill. That's so impressive, though. Like, you gotta give it to him, right? Yeah, his first port of call is to treat this man with respect. I absolutely misjudged him when I first saw him in the first film. I was like, okay, well, this guy's a mob boss, he's a gangster, you know. Which it wasn't incorrect, but I do feel like I missed a lot of who he was and how he got here. And see, at this point, I guess, like, Vito has got the power of his name to use, and he didn't use that.
The rent stays like before.
All he has to do is stay quiet. What's happening? My man. Oh my god. This guy. That was amazing.
Would you mind speaking up, please?
Yeah, they're absolutely intending for us to draw comparisons between Michael and Vito too. I will just say again, on the way that they're structuring the arcs of this film, talking about Vito and Michael, and I found myself wondering why I was almost sad to leave Vito there. But they've done it perfectly, you know, for all the reasons that I've said. But also, we go back to this place, this story here with Michael, and Michael's struggling. He failed to hit Roth. Previous to that, there was a hit on his family. There's someone in the family, Fredo, who betrayed him. Now we've got this court hearing. So it's like we're constantly going back to a story where things are happening to a character we don't like, that are negative. As a story device, it just works really well together, and it does enamor you towards the flashbacks, which I think, you know, in some respects, there is this predilection to be a little bit bored by the flashbacks automatically, and I feel like they've countered that so well with everything they're doing. What I've just mentioned included.
He would take the fifth.
This guy.
You got a great home here, Frankie. For the rest of your life. Nobody gets near you, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's in hiding. Okay. Makes sense.
You live better in here than most people on the outside.
Yeah, take it, my friend. All the pitchers of wine you could want, mate. Unless you spill them, in which case they'll replace it. No losses.
What about Fredo? What does he know?
Yeah, this is messy now. But you know, there I was complimenting Vito, but to a certain extent, Vito was coming up from an unknown. At this point in where Michael is, the Corleone family has a reputation, it has more enemies because they are established and they've, you know, stepped on more toes. We saw that in the last film. So while I compliment Vito and where he's going and what he's doing in the past and how he got to where he was, Michael has it harder. He has a lot more enemies, a lot more established enemies, a lot more powerful enemies that want his power and his riches.
But if they could get a little help and close the deal fast.
Oh man, they just took advantage of this guy. He has no acumen, like no business acumen, no wiles.
I've always taken care of you, Fredo.
You're my kid brother and you take care of me? Did you ever once think about that?
Oh, your ego was bruised. Get over it, man. Come on.
It ain't the way I wanted it!
Of course it wasn't. I tell you what, he looks a little bit like Brando there, you know?
I'm smart and I want respect!
Well, you can't shout about it, man. You gotta earn that shit. That's the point, that's the difference.
Is there anything you can tell me about this investigation?
It's making me feel like Vito did favour Michael for certain reasons. Possibly the one that I said before.
The Senate lawyer. He belongs to Roth.
You're nothing to me now.
Warranted. He fucked up. Yeah, everyone's making an enemy of Michael. I like it in a way. Because it's putting this character that I like, that I respect his ability to get himself out of this situation. And I want to see how he's going to do it. Do you know what I mean? He's the underdog now. He's getting all these people shooting at him, you know, throwing punches. And it just puts Michael in this such an interesting position. Because the only way for him to go now is to go up and overcome all these people. Maybe that won't happen, but that's what it makes me feel.
Did you serve under capo regime?
Yeah, who's the guy next to Michael? Is it a brother?
No, Godfather.
Yeah, who is the guy next to Michael? Because that's what swung it.
Were you at any time a member of a crime organization?
Oh. I was in the olive oil business with his father. That was a long time ago, that's all.
Wait a minute. Is this guy on the stand, this drunk guy who we saw at the beginning, is this guy, and I'm clocking it together because he just said that he was friends with Vito Corleone in the oil business. Is he the guy that we saw right at the beginning of the film where they were watching that play and the girl and the guy with the gun on the stage, and we had Vito sat down and we had the guy next to him? Is he that guy? Because he's got the eyebrows for it, mate. And just that line there, him saying like, oh, I was in the oil, you know, the olive oil business with his father, that was the sign that they were putting up in the flashback. Is this the fucking guy? I love that, man. Just that they've linked the past and the present, you know, and the flashbacks with what we're seeing in the flashbacks to the present. It's such a small thing, but it means a lot. You know, it makes you go like, now I like this guy a lot more because they've done the work in the past, and I like Vito, and I like everything that's happening there. And this guy's buddies with Vito, and so like that version of him, I like. Do you know what I mean? And now that I realise that's him, if it is him, maybe I'm jumping the fucking gun, mate. I might be, that's fair. But if that is him, it makes me like him a lot more. I didn't really like him. Do you know what I mean? He's turned into not a character that I particularly found favourable. But that's clever because that makes me, it informs me more, gives me more, and connects me emotionally to this guy in a way that I wasn't before, and also connects me to the flashbacks, which I have a lot of good feeling for.
He is, I believe, his brother.
There you go, brother. Called it.
Sir, this man does not understand English.
Michael, I'm not going back to Nevada.
Yeah, legit. I kind of saw this coming. You could tell, especially the shot at the end of the last film. Sorry, I feel like I'm understanding a little bit more why Michael wanted to know. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to just throw this out into the wind, and maybe I'm right and maybe I'm not. But when Michael was getting so obsessed with asking whether the miscarriage child was a boy, it's his third child, right? Sorry, I just saw those two kids in the corridor just then. So it would be his third child, which would be what Michael was to Vito, no? Maybe he's applying some significance to that and the way that Vito put that significance on him and held him in high regard. Maybe Michael was putting a lot of expectation on the third child in the same way, perhaps, just because he was the third child and the way that it went with him. Maybe.
I feel no love for you at all.
Oof.
Well, in time, you'll feel differently.
Bold.
I know that.
Well, it's good to know you're confident, mate, because fucking hell.
And you'll forget about this miscarriage?
Oh, no.
We'll have another child.
Look at that face! I read her face.
It wasn't a miscarriage.
Oh, what?
It was an abortion.
An
abortion, Michael.
Oh, he is not going to be happy.
I didn't want your son, Michael.
Oh.
Another one of your sons into this world.
That's so cold.
A son, and I had it killed because...
Yeah, oh, fuck. This is so heavy. Yeah, he's fuming.
2,000 years.
Shit. Oh, we saw that coming, didn't we? Pause. Sorry, she played that horribly because she has essentially broken not only ties with him, but she's broken any tie that he had to her by admitting that, right? By the way, I want to be very clear, very, very clear. Women have all rights to their bodies, and if they want an abortion, they should be allowed an abortion. That's where I stand on it. I know it's a hotly contested thing in the world today. That's where I stand. I want to make it very plain that my reaction to that was based contextually off what was happening there and not on her decision to have an abortion. At the same time, there's more to that than just her having an abortion, because that was specifically almost to spite him. It was the idea of equating that child to him, and that was the reason she didn't want it, and she specifically went out of her way. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't that she didn't necessarily want a child, it was that she didn't want his child. It makes that conversation so muddy, so murky, of like, was she right to do that? I think what you can say about it was it was a specifically vindictive act to Michael. I do feel like that, at least, that statement on its own is true, which is where, honestly, my reaction comes from. Like, that's so cold. I specifically got rid of it because I don't like you. Oh, that's so big. Sorry. I think in some respects I just paused because that was fucking heavy, man. Holy shit. Oh, buddy. Right, was this where Michael went when he was in exile? It looks like it. I might be wrong. Oh, this guy's fucked.
Significa compagnia d'oggi d'oliva, non ciccio.
Oh, he fucked.
È onesto, pecciotto di Nuova York.
Mate, he's right behind him. Fucking hell, open your eyes.
Io non ci vedo tanto buono.
Fair. I apologise. That was a cheap shot. That was a cheap shot on my part. I apologise, mate.
E chi sto è
There we are. That was brutal, mate. Oh no, his mum literally died. Fucking hell, man. We didn't even get to see her sing this episode. Oh, this film. That's what I meant. Fair play. It's still a big loss, right? He's got to be hurting, even if he doesn't show that.
At the FBI.
An orange. Very symbolic, I feel.
Tom, you know you surprised me.
Side note, by the way, I've never seen anyone eat an orange like that. That's insane! You peel it, then you fucking segment it, and then you eat it. This man just fucking raw dogging this orange.
The Corleone family was like the Roman Empire.
It was once.
Ooh, are you showing a little bit of doubt? Yeah, he's really like, it's not the same as it was now under Michael as it was under Vito. Those kids are going to be poisoned against her. Oh!
Pray for us sinners.
Oh shit, is Fredo gonna die? Michael is cleaning up, mate. Shit, he is not leaving it to chance. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm getting to a point, and my brain literally said this sentence. Like, Michael's winning, and I think he's gonna win, but is he truly the victor? Here, he's losing a lot. You know, what's he left with? His family's kind of in tatters. Oh, hello.
This is my stepbrother, Tom.
Oh, hello.
Your country ain't your blood, you remember that.
I don't feel that way.
Well, if you don't feel like that, why don't you just quit college and go to join the army?
I did.
Okay, we're seeing it.
That's swell, Mike. Congratulations.
That's right.
Oh, Fredo. Even in this, we're seeing that Michael's his own person. He's like, no, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. Very steadfast, you know, very forthright in what he wants. Interesting, and very apart from his family. And I guess we saw that in the first film, but we're getting shown it here. This is being juxtaposed against the present, where he's alone. Interesting that we're getting kind of told a little bit more, or there's more context being added to Michael's story and where he is, and who he is as well, and how he has kind of been always apart from the family. Right? Damn. Oh, do you know what, though? I thoroughly enjoyed that. For sure, absolutely. That was a great film. I really enjoyed that film. Yeah, really kind of devastating ending, I suppose. It almost took me by surprise. It's a 3-hour film, and it took me by surprise that it ended. That's a massive testament to the film, I think. Vito's involvement in the story was absolutely to complement Michael's. I think almost in the film it becomes a story in its own that becomes compelling on its own. As the audience, you naturally compare it. I think that was the point. But I think it did stand on its own. Damn, I didn't expect this film... I didn't know how this film was going to end, but I didn't necessarily expect it to end in a way that was so sad, I suppose. Yeah, you're left absolutely with that juxtaposition of the family. I think, you know, the family is mentioned quite a lot through this film, and... you know, I think that's what that flashback was there, right there. And that little interaction, obviously the end of the film and the way that like Michael's cleaning house essentially, juxtaposed next to that little flashback scene, and the way that even just in the conversation he was separated from his family, you know, in the way that he thought, the way that he thinks and what he wants for his life, despite Vito wanting something else or plans being in place for something else. And then we have that very visual representation of that separation from the family, you know, and the sounds, and they're all in another room, and it's this darkened room, and he's on his own. And it almost, I want to say reminds, but not really, but it just tells you that he was always on his own. He was always apart from them. And even now, you know, getting through it all with all this power, and like I said, winning. He won. And yet you come off the film feeling like he didn't. And I think that's the beauty of that ending. It sits on you a little bit at the end there, I think, you know, in a way that the first one doesn't. The thing that this film does, where it plays with the audience so much, where it makes you think one thing, it puts you into a state of confusion, and then it kind of answers that, but then it does something else, and it makes you question again. It always has you questioning. It always has you. And the thing that it did, where it took you along with Michael, trying to find who it was in the family, you go along with him as the audience, and the way that it does that and keeps you guessing as the audience and fools you and tries to fool you, and it absolutely tries to fool you, is done superbly. And I can absolutely see why some people say that this one is the better film. What do I think? I don't know. Out of like comparing the two, they're both very good films. I enjoyed them very much. I think this is a very worthy sequel. I think I'd need a little bit more time if I was to, you know, separate the two and say if one was better than the other. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think I need to do that anyway. I enjoyed them both for what they were, and that's where I stand right now. So yeah, if you haven't gone to see my Saw 5 video, please do go give that a watch. If I do say so myself, it's a very good video. So give that a watch if you've got a little bit of time. If you've not got a little bit of time, go fucking watch it, mate. All right, just go. If you're new to the channel, hello, thank you for watching, welcome. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that. It's free. I've got some links down below if you'd like to support me. I've got a Patreon version of this as well, which is a full commentary, not just 40-50 minutes. By the way, I have like over 4 hours of footage to edit on this. This is mental, mate. Thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you so much to my patrons. With that said, hopefully I'll see you next time.